Hey, 66 Gamer here. Haven't done a video in a long time, but I've been playing Kerbal Space Program for about the last week, pretty heavy. Just got in the mood and then got addicted to it again. But kind of wanted to make a video just to kind of show where I'm at in my career and also kind of mention that 1.0, I guess, is on the horizon now, the full release, and there's a little bit of controversy over that. So on my .90 career, I currently have 56 flights in progress, and 4 years and 285 days have gone by. And I've really mastered some things that, well, I wouldn't say mastered, but um, like orbital rendezvous and docking, I can now do without cheating. Um, so I'm pretty happy with that. But let's look at what all is kind of going on in my career now. Okay, I do have, well, first, okay, so there's a lot of stuff going on right now. This is Remote Tech and Remote Tech Stock. Remote Tech is a small mod that basically requires a communications network for probes to work. Like there has to be a working communications network, and for probes to receive a signal from mission control, which is the red dot there, for them to work or function. And at first I thought, oh yeah, it makes a lot of sense, it's cool, so I loved it at first. Then it started becoming a headache. We'll get to that later. So I'm thinking about uninstalling it at this point because it's just now I'm to the point in my game where I want to do things, and this is just kind of getting in the way. And I'm just like, I really don't want to deal with this. One, because it costs money to put up these satellites, and that can be a lot of money when you're trying to put up a good enough network to cover the entire solar system, basically, because I've now gone interplanetary. This past week, finally sent somebody to Duna. And I did kind of cheat on that a little bit because I started reading about the windows and you have to wait. Anyways. So, let me turn some of this remote tech stuff off. Alright. I don't know, I can't seem to turn that off. Alright, whatever. So, right now, let's see, there's a couple asteroids orbiting, so let's turn those off. I did my first thing with an asteroid, but I did cheat. I had to use infinite fuel to get like the last few kilometers and actually land on the asteroid. Yeah, that's disappointing. I've only used infinite fuel twice in this career. Once was my first mission to Duna. They ran out of fuel, like, I think it got off the moon and then ran out of fuel on the way to Kerbal. So, yeah, I did use a little infinite fuel there. And then on the first asteroid mission. I'm not too proud of that, but it is a game, and I'm not to where I feel comfortable doing hardcore mode yet. Alright, so one of the things I finally moved to is, because I've finally figured out how to do rendezvous and docking, let's check out my first station. So here we go. So this orange fuel tank with the girders and 3 Clampetrons is my first station, and it's actually, I've used it um, quite a bit. Well, I say quite a bit. I've used it, definitely put it to use so far, as you can see right now. Um, and I'm kind of excited about that, having my first orbital station. It's at 200 kilometers out. This was integral in getting the Duna mission going, and also like now I have this what I call the space bus because it holds what 16, 20 Kerbals in this space bus that is not built for atmospheric flight. So this is as far as the space bus can go, is docking with a low Kerbal or low Kerbin orbit station (LKO), and then the passengers have to then transfer to a different vehicle to go down to Kerbin orbit. And I have not mastered space planes or SSTOs yet, so that's kind of my next thing to work on. But this was my first station attempt, really. Orbiting station that was more than a one-time contract fulfillment. Obviously, that's one-time contract fulfillments are much easier. Let's go to the moon. Where's the moon? So, oh, too close. Where's it at? Here we go. I think this is my first contract orbiting station. And what a freaking disaster. I don't even know how much money I made off that contract because of all the stuff I had to do. So we had to have a science station. It had to be like what, 5 Kerbals, but then it had to have an observation port, and then there was something else, or it had to be 7. I don't know. This thing, as you can see, I built this. Basically, there was only actually only one docking port on this station when I sent it up, and then realized that I was totally screwed up the build of it. So I flew the observation port out there, got that attached, then realized I still didn't have enough space, so then I had to fly out a 4 Kerbal pod and used a claw to just grab onto it, and as soon as the claw attached, it completed the contract. So yeah, this is a little ridiculous. Pretty silly station. Not very functional. All this fuel is useless pretty much unless I want to deorbit these pieces or send them back to Kerbin or something. You can't transfer anything from this side over here. Just kind of silly. Just trying to complete a contract, basically, was all this was. And there are 2 Kerbals in there, but I've removed the rest of the crew on the space bus. So that was my first real station. Then let's go to here. Try to be fairly quick about this video. No, what is this? That is definitely not. That was my first lunar lander that, what happened with this thing? Something happened with this thing. But it ran out of fuel, and yeah, ran out of fuel, and then lost satellite connection. So this thing, I actually had to send another one to rescue the three guys off of this. See, I had it fitted out to do all kinds of stuff, and anyways. Let's moon base 1, lunar station. Okay. So it's really easy to complete the first moon base or planetary base missions because... Oh, there's still... Oh, that's right. He's still there. I forgot. Um, so this thing rolled around when I tried to land it. I screwed it up, broke off the other solar panel. But it's a 5 capacity planetary station or base. So that's all it is. It's 5 capacity. It's got a docking port on the side, which is not in a really useful place. And it's got antennas, and that's pretty much it. So fulfilling a contract, right? What I'm more proud of is this. So, oh, the battery's. Oh, it's going down. Um, this Mooner base, which arrived obviously 2 pieces, science lab, the 5. So it's what, total of 7 capacity with a science lab. Basically the same base as we just saw, except now oriented to the horizontal with the heavy-duty rover wheels, which I finally unlocked after saving up the 3 million credits to upgrade my science or my research lab. Now this landing was kind of hard. As you can see, I had RCS engines facing. You can see how they're oriented because I thought I would be able to change the orientation of the craft and then use these engines to lower myself down horizontally, but there's balance issues and I didn't practice with that, so that didn't really work out. Busted the wheel on this one. So it just sat here, flew this one down, landed 20 kilometers away, and then over many quick saves, first getting the landing, that took forever. Because once again, I just couldn't get this engine set up to work, but took forever. A lot of quick loading just to get it down, and then more click loads on the 20-kilometer trip over the lunar surface, which took a long time. But due to the engine configuration, this thing would not fly. I couldn't just bounce, skip it over the lunar surface with little short trajectories of a few kilometers. But it works. It's awesome. It's pretty fun, and because these docking ports aren't aligned exactly, this middle wheel is off the ground anyways, so I can drive this around just fine. And I believe there are 2 guys in there. There's 2 scientists in there. One's level 2, I think one's 0. But so I'm really happy about this. I tried to do this before with the lower tier wheels, just attached, no girders. And as soon as the thing landed on the wheels busted off, the whole thing came apart. Oh, I was upset about that. Yeah, so the medium duty wheels cannot do this. Or I wouldn't try it. Again, that's for sure. Alright, so, I've got the orbital station in Kerbal. I can put stuff pretty much where I want as far as the Kerbal system goes. We got more stuff on Minmus, but it's kind of more of the same. I don't think we're going to see anything vastly different here. Yeah, so just the simple contract. Oh, this was actually a planetary base, 5 Kerbal capacity, antenna, docking port, and then it had enough RCS fuel, which you can see is orientated down. Well, because this is not a wheeled craft. So I flew this up. I flew these guys back up to orbit to meet the space bus. And all my space bus guys are down back on Kerbal, and let me Sorry, so before we leave Kerbin's system, let's cover everything. So finally got the fully upgraded research lab, and I only have two things left, which is a piece for Kerbal attachment system, and then the final MechJeb command pod thing. So basically, I've got all the stock parts, everything I'm going to get. Let's look here. Alright, let me show you. Oh shoot, what did I even name it? So just like, so here's the fuel station rocket. It does have to burn some of its own fuel to get into orbit, but whatever. There's still a lot of fuel left in there, and actually quite a bit of monopropellant with those 4 tanks on it. It needs to be added onto so that, because right now, as you saw with the space bus attached, if I attach another vehicle, the Kerbals can't transfer. So what I need to do is add actually another end of it on here with a crew compartment so that I can actually transfer Kerbals from vehicle to vehicle without doing EVA. Doing EVA for what? How many did I have? Like 10 or 12 Kerbals, and flying them over to another vehicle with all the EVA hatch glitches that spin your Kerbals off into space is really frustrating. So I need to put another module on that station and refuel it. It needs more fuel for some more missions coming up to Duna, because my Duna missions have run into some problems. Or Duna mission, excuse me. But so, like, here's just for remote tech. Let me show you guys what I have to do. You got to put these satellites in, and you need these expensive long-range antennas. You need like multiple antennas because they have to be able to get a signal from Kerbin and then other satellites, and then you have to have, it's just lots of antennas, or it's a pain in the butt. But this is actually a pretty good satellite system right here. This stage right here will pretty much get you anywhere in the Kerbin sphere of influence, just about. Just about. That stage, final stage there. But it's a pain, and I'm really thinking about turning it all off. And because satellites clutter up your damn space anyways. Fuel station. I need to delete a lot of this stuff. Orbiter. Oh, here's... This video is probably already over 20 minutes, isn't it? Time flies when I try to make YouTube videos with games. So here is my rock station that I put on an asteroid. And there's definitely something else attached. There's another module because I had to have, I think, an observation port. So basically, it's a mirror copy of this except an observation port on the top. And so they're attached radially to the side. And that's orbiting Kerbal, the sun right now. Where is this Space Lab, SSTO? No, I haven't perfected those yet. Space Lab, Space Bus. How many space buses are there? Oh, jeez. Shuttle LKO. I think this. Yeah, here we go. So now this is my vessel that will be reused over and over to go up for now. this is used to go up to this low Kerbal LKO station and then back down, and it works. I've tested it, the landing and the parachutes. You got the high altitude drogue parachutes there, and then we've got 6 radial parachutes, 6 landing legs. However, I haven't quite mastered pinpoint atmospheric landings. I thought I overshot the Kerbal Space Center enough, and I didn't. Slowed down a lot and ended up landing in the water, which would technically be west of the KSC landmass, on the west end. So it fell short, basically, into the water. And these radial engines bust off because it comes down at 9.5 meters a second is as slow as it gets. So I may need to add another 2 parachutes just for safety's sake. But it will, these 6 landing legs will take that on Kerbin's gravity at 9.5 meters a second. So it works. It's great. It's space for a lot of Kerbals, for taking them out to space, training them, bringing them back. Because I did send a training mission with 7 rookies to Minmus. So that was part of the crew that I brought back on the space bus. Oop. Let's look at space bus. So this is the space bus that will not come back into the atmosphere. You saw it out there at the station. The problem is that the RCS is not balanced very well. I don't know if I should use more linear thrusters or what, but it is a pain in the butt. It can be a pain in the butt to move this thing around under docking controls. It just is. But with a full tank of gas, the last stage gets about almost 6,000. Well, it was up to 6,000 at one point. But you can get 5,600 Delta V on the last stage if you can keep all the fuel. I keep hitting save button. I don't know why. Alright, where is Duna? So this is part of the Duna station. I knew I wouldn't have... This is a one-way trip, this station, and placement and exploratory trip. You can see I've got Kerbal attachment system installed because I knew it was going to be a multi-part, multi-stage vessel, and I wanted to be able to reinforce the joints. But I've learned a lot from that. Long, multi-jointed spacecraft aren't good being pushed from the rear. So I did learn that. I also completely forgot I had nuclear engines unlocked, so I used a mainsail, which is highly inefficient in vacuum compared to other engines. So learned that I need to put nuclear engines on stuff for interplanetary stuff. But these are these little probes that I built to be dropped, well, undocked, and then using a little bit of RCS and liquid fuel to get down to Duna and possibly Ike. And you can see the antennas, so I could get signal, but I guess I don't fully understand remote tech. I thought I did, but I can get solid signal to the Duna orbiting station, but as soon as I undock these, they don't get any signal. You know, and I extend the antenna before I undock and all that, they get no signal. So it's very frustrating. I think I'm going to uninstall remote tech because now I'm to the point where, like, it doesn't make sense that Jebediah Kerman or Bill Kerman, whoever the engineer is, can't control a drone or a probe from their space vehicle. Like, why does this probe have to get a signal all the way from Kerbin? It doesn't make sense. Like, they should be able to have point-to-point communications with the probe from their ship and pilot it. So I'm frustrated with a remote tech now, and probably gonna uninstall it. And I have no idea if these will work yet. We'll go out to Duna and see. But this is the middle stage of the Duna station. Let's see, what did we use for the... I don't know, we'll go out and look. But basically where's the orange refueler? And this thing right here is basically the final stage. It's just a mainsail and a big orange tank. Top it off at the station. And that's the pushing part, which was almost disastrous, really disastrous. So let's go back and look at Duna. So 1.0 is supposed to be coming out for Kerbal Space Program, and there's some controversy, and understandably so, with the... I don't want to say... oh Lord, what is that? Oh wow. That's way out there. Alright, so here's this probe that is now in its own orbit. You can see my red indicator here means no connection. It's running out of batteries too. So yeah, as soon as I undocked it, it was dead in the water. Can't do anything with it until I uninstall remote tech, and then hopefully it'll function. So a little bit upset about that. This is where my orange shooters currently reside. I try to give my orange shooters first shot at everything. Oh, so this is okay. Here's the top of it. We've got Science Lab, 4 science modules, habitation module, observation module. So pretty big upper stage. I think it had to have a 7 Kerbal capacity anyways. So we dropped the last stage. That was that orange refueler that was floating out in that pretty far out there. And I have 2 2-star scientists in this lab. But I'm getting a little frustrated with a 1% transmit value. That seems... I thought it was supposed to be like 10% from scientists that were trained. So I guess I'm a little lost on the value of scientists right now. I mean, I understand my guys are only 2 stars, but where's the benefit? I mean, you can see 1% doesn't even register a whole point. Like, there's not even half a point extra of science there. I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me. So, you know, I'm only getting 15 science out of 50 science. Oh, I did download the crowdsourced science messages, which is so much better. Oh, it's so much better. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. So, once again, I'm kind of disappointed with the transmit values. I mean, I thought the whole point of the getting 1% boost from a science lab with trained scientists is, excuse my language, a fucking joke. So, I hope that gets sorted out in 1.0. Or I'm sure some commenter will tell me that I'm all jacked up and I don't understand how it works, but it shouldn't be that hard. I mean, you put trained scientists in a science lab, you should get more than 1 freaking % boost. Whatever. So So now these guys have to wait on another mission to come out. Because I need to plant a flag now anyways. So obviously I have no vessel here that can land a Kerbal on the surface, and I have one more unmanned probe that hopefully will start functioning as soon as I uninstall remote tech. Are we out of power? No. Why are the lights off? Hey, there we go. But, so I did make it to Duna. Yes, I did use MechJeb to plot the course. Because after doing all the reading, it was probably late at night, and I was like, I really don't want to wait. And it saved me a lot of Delta V. I was trying to manually create the node, and holy cow, I was gonna end up burning like twice as much Delta V, which actually I didn't even have enough. So then when I used the maneuver planner, it figured it out, and it was like half the Delta V to get to Duna. So 1.0 is going to come out, and there's a lot of worry and anxious feelings about what it's going to actually be. Is it going to be polishing what's currently in 9.0? Because for some reason this beta, quote-unquote beta phase, has never been updated. So I don't know if that really qualifies as a beta if they don't push bug fixes during beta test. Whatever. That's another issue of contention. Is that they called it beta, but apparently they're not treating it like a real beta phase. So some people are saying. And I kind of agree with that. So are they going to polish the bugs like the EVA ladder and hatch thing, which is really annoying? It can really ruin your day. And I've been in the game a long time. There's other bugs. Personally, I haven't really experienced a lot of bugs. I just ended up reading about the decoupler bug. And apparently, I have definitely probably experienced the bug, but I haven't read all the details. But I read a post on the forums that said the developers actually created the Sepratron rocket system because they just thought that the symptoms of the decoupler bug were just the way it worked. They didn't even realize that there is a problem with the radial decouplers. So they made Sepratrons to assist in radial decoupling, I guess, is how you would say that. So that threw me off. I was like, whoa, the developers created a part to fix a bug that they didn't even realize was a bug. That's pretty bad. But okay, whatever. So there's still bugs in the game that have been in the game. I was just bitching about the science thing. People are still saying the science system and the mission profit was definitely out of whack. So now I guess the developers made a post on Twitter and a post on the forums about, hey, now we're thinking maybe we need to push some things off, some game features off to 1.1 so that we can polish the current game for full release. And then people are saying, well, wait a minute. If you're leaving out features that were promised in the core game, then it's not a full release. And then the other thing is, why don't you just have another beta release, beta 9.99 or 0.95? There's a lot of confusion right now. Oh, ran out of batteries. It doesn't make, some of this stuff that's going on with this game right now does not make sense. And of course I unlocked this mission put me over the 3 million credit mark. So I did not have the nuclear power generators or whatever, little power generators. So everything I have is still solar powered right now, except for the space shuttle, or not the space shuttle, the space bus has nuclear generators. I believe it has 4 of them in the little docking cargo bay area. So there's some controversy with 1.0. Honestly, I'm kind of an easy to please gamer most of the time. I'm really not that critical of a lot of games. You got to be a pretty bad game for me probably to be unhappy with it. So whenever 1.0 comes out, I'm probably going to start a new career and may even do it on quote unquote hard mode, and turn off quick saves and have probably permadeath. At least try it one time just to see how far I can get without killing Jebediah, Bill, or Bob. But they're loving it right now. They've been orbiting Duna for a long time. What's our mission timer? 2 years and 12 days, 126 days. They've been on this mission. So, yeah, they've been in space for a while. A long while. Let's go back to the Space Center real quick before we end this video. Which is, I always say I'm going to start a timer on my phone before I do these videos, and I never do. I'm long-winded. There's another mod I downloaded, which is I think is awesome. How do we... Come on, I know... Oh, man. I thought I could open their... Okay, well, I downloaded this mod. Well, shoot. Okay, we'll just let's do this real quick. What was that guy's name? See all these guys with stars? A lot of them were brought back on the space bus. Like Matzen Kerman. Vessel science return. Vessel part science return. I guess you gotta have 3 stars for them to make a difference in a science lab. I don't know. That just burns me up about that. Only 1%. Okay, Kenfrid. All right. Let's get... What is going on here? See, bugs in the game. Where you still got bugs. Don't know what's going on with that. Alright, let's load... something simple for him. What in the hell? Oh, ha! I use that for testing purposes, obviously. 2 different tests. Yep, radial decoupler and that stacco separatron, whatever it's called. Let's do... Take you off. I don't know why I can't... Dang. Alright, here we go. So I downloaded a mod that is kind of an RPG element, and it actually gives them, if you've been on the Kerbal forums, you'll see in people's signatures these little ribbons. They look like military ribbons, which are basically little pieces of cloth with colored thread and little symbols and patterns. Is this, what is the staging like on this thing? Okay, we're good. And it awards your Kerbals these mission ribbons for all kinds of different things, like orbiting each planet is its own ribbon. So if you orbit Kerbin, you get an orbit Kerbin ribbon. Landing on, I don't think you get landing on Kerbin, but like landing on the moon, that's a ribbon. What else? Orbiting, landing. Planting a flag, maybe? I think maybe there's a plant a flag ribbon on other planets. There's ribbons for sustain so many G-forces, and that's a ribbon. And then, like, as you get higher each time, whoop, we got no SAS because he's a rookie. Oh, whoop, whoop, uh-oh, whoop, whoop, come on. Boy, back to old school piloting here. Oh, I never did my gravity turn. Whoops. So I may have screwed this up already. As I said, G-forces. Oh, duration in space. Like I got guys. I got Jeb got a ribbon for like over a year in space, and then like what was one of his other? Somebody got a ribbon for like so many hours in EVA, like over 2 hours of EVA time. It's pretty neat. I mean, it gives your when you return a Kerbal back to Kerbin from whatever they're doing, and then you get to go through this little menu screen and see all his little accomplishments that are now added to his record. It's just neat. It makes you. It's just another thing to kind of, for those that care. I know some people don't really give a crap about the Kerbals themselves in the game. They just like to build the rockets and all that stuff. But let's see if we can the old school pilot here. Whoop, whoop, oh man, this thing moves around a lot. Oh jeez. Let's see. I need to. Should have put a Stay Putnik on this thing. Oh. Oh, I guess level 1 pilots come with stability assist? Yeah, whatever. So, yeah, so it's just a really neat mod. That helps, I don't know, just give more accomplishment to things, a little more significance, I guess, to your Kerbals, kind of individualizes them a little bit. So I just think it's a neat mod. Let's. Why can't I force accelerate? What? Oh, there we go. Whoa. Okay. Let's go out here. I just want to get one orbit in so you guys can see this. There we go. Okay, so now we'll give them a good orbit or two. Yeah, so I like the mod. So I've got that mod, which really doesn't affect game mechanics, Kerbal attachment system, the remote tech mod. What else? Mech Jeb, obviously. Okay, so I got Mech Jeb. I think that's it. Not a lot of mods. And really the only reason I got Mech Jeb is just because I wasn't mastering some things in the game and I was kind of tired of being restrained or... Okay, so overshoot. We're going to overshoot by a good bit here. Alright. So now let's burn down. Oh no, too much! God! See, I did it again. Okay. Oops. Alright. And now we're just going to let him... Hey, he's pretty happy. Maybe this guy's the next Jeb. He doesn't seem afraid at all. Does he? Yep. So, 1.0 supposed to have an aerodynamic what do they call it? Aero rebalance. Actually, put a functioning aerodynamic model in the game. From what I understand, will actually make it easier to achieve orbit on Kerbin, and actually make it easier to fly in the atmosphere, because right now the model that's in place is almost makes the atmosphere like soup. I mean, it's just really thick and hard to break away from. I don't know. That's they're talking about putting resources in the game where you can actually mine. They've put up a graphic of the. See, look! Oh my gosh, look how short that. That's not even close. Good grief! I haven't figured this out yet. I don't know. What am I doing wrong? Whoa! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I had force acceleration on and I broke the parachutes. You know what? We'll just go back to. Dang it! Oh my gosh! So that's my first lost Kerbal, and that's saved now. I can't take that back. That was live on camera. Son, oh, that was stupid. Oh man. And that dude was fearless too. He might have had that piece of code like Jebediah where he was. Oh god! I broke the parachutes. Never force accelerate when you're gonna hit the 500-meter parachute deployment zone, or you'll break your parachutes. Damn it. Alright guys, this video has gone on long enough, I'm sure. Just wanted to show you how far I've gotten in Kerbal Space Program on my career. Talk about 1.0 coming out a little bit. I'm not even sure now with all the talk of 1.0 how much more I'm going to put into this. I want to complete Duna, and then I may just stop. And focus on things maybe even in sandbox mode, like just designing ships. But even that seems pointless, because if they do an aerodynamics remodel, everything's going to change. So I'm probably going to finish Duna, maybe even do a video or two about that. And then that might be it until 1.0 comes out, because it just seems kind of pointless to really continue if the full release is going to come out and change the aerodynamic remodel alone, which needs to be done, would just change everything and kind of make anything I've designed up until this point useless for the most part. Maybe not sub-assemblies and stuff like that, or rovers or probes themselves, but the rockets at least would be useless and have to be completely redone. So that was it for now. See you guys later.